I still remember the way the fork slipped from her hand and clattered against the Easter plate. The sound was small. Her face wasn't. Pale, frozen, cracked wide open by the single sentence. My new wife spoke with a soft smile. "I'm 12 weeks pregnant." That was the moment Amelia finally understood what silence can do to a person. What it can build. What it can destroy. She looked at me across the long dining table, surrounded by pastel eggs, candles, and the family she once called hers. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Good. For once she got to feel what I had felt. Wordless. Breathless. Shattered. It had started 8 months earlier. In a hospital waiting room that smelled of antiseptic and old coffee, Amelia sat beside me, perfectly composed. Her fingers folded in her lap like she was discussing dinner plans. "I've scheduled the procedure for next Friday," she said. I looked up from my phone. "What procedure?" She met my eyes without blinking. "A permanent one. I'm having surgery." "I don't want children, ever." The words didn't hit all at once. They seeped in, cold and slow. For 5 years she had promised someday. After the promotion, after the move, after we traveled, after life settled. There was always an after. But now she had moved the future out of reach and set fire to the bridge behind it. I asked the only thing that mattered. "Why didn't you talk to me first?" Her expression hardened. "Because it's my body. My decision." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I nodded. "Your decision." I didn't raise my voice. Didn't plead. Didn't argue. That was the first thing she underestimated. She thought silence meant surrender. It didn't. It meant I had started paying attention. We hadn't always been like this. When I met Amelia, she was warmth in human form. Sharp-witted, ambitious, beautiful, in the effortless way that made rooms tilt toward her. We built a life out of late-night drives, cheap apartments, whispered plans in the dark. She used to rest her head on my chest and talk about names for our future children. A boy with my eyes, a girl with her smile. I believed every word. That was the cruelest part. Not the lie itself, the fact that it had once been true. The changes started months before the surgery conversation. Late nights at work. Her phone turned face down. Shower taken the second she got home. A distance in her eyes that no amount of conversation could cross. At first I told myself it was stress. Then I noticed the messages. One night, her phone lit up on the kitchen counter while she was upstairs. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Miss your touch already?" No name. Just a heart. I didn't need one. My chest tightened, but my hands stayed steady as I set the phone back down. That was when the pieces aligned. The surgery. The coldness. The lies. It wasn't about children. It was about freedom. Freedom from me. Freedom for someone else. I could have confronted her that night. I could have screamed. Instead, I smiled the next morning and kissed her forehead before work. Then I hired a lawyer. People think revenge is rage. It isn't. Real revenge is patience. I gathered everything. The messages. The hotel receipts hidden in our shared credit statements. The transfers from our joint account to a private one in her name. Every lie had a paper trail. Every betrayal leaves fingerprints. The affair was with Daniel, a senior partner at her firm. Married, of course. Predictable men always are. But the true fracture came from somewhere else. Sophia, her best friend. The woman Amelia trusted with every secret. The woman who had been quietly watching me drown. Sophia was the first person I told. Not because I needed comfort. Because I needed truth. She sat across from me in a quiet cafe, eyes dark with anger as I slid the evidence across the table. She told me she didn't want children, I said. Sophia's face changed. A flicker. A hesitation. Then she looked down. She told me she was pregnant last year. The room went silent. I felt something inside me go still. She ended it, Sophia said softly. She said a baby would ruin her career. She never told you because she knew you'd want to keep it. That was the moment love died. Not with the affair. With the deception. She hadn't denied me a future. She had erased one that already existed. The divorce was surgical. Precise. My lawyer filed on grounds of infidelity and financial misconduct. The prenup protected the house and most of the assets I had brought into the marriage. By the time Amelia was served, Daniel had already cut ties to save his own marriage and career. She lost him in a day. She lost the house in a week. She lost the illusion of control in a month. The confrontation came in my office. Rain against the windows, Her mascara streaked from tears she probably thought still had power over me. You planned this, she whispered. I leaned back in my chair. No, you planned it. I just finished what you started. Her voice trembled. You ruined my life. I looked at her for a long time. Then I said the truth. No, Amelia. You ruined ours. Sophia and I didn't happen overnight. That would make it sound like revenge. It wasn't. It was recognition. She had seen me at my worst and never asked me to pretend otherwise. There was no manipulation. No games. Just honesty. The kind I had forgotten existed. A year later, we were married. Small ceremony. Close friends. No spectacle. No bitterness. Just peace. And then Easter came. Sophia wanted to tell the family in person, so we did. Amelia was there because her mother insisted. I almost admired the irony. When Sophia placed her hand over her stomach and smiled, time seemed to slow. I'm pregnant. The color drained from Amelia's face. Her eyes snapped to me, then to Sophia, then back again. I saw it happen. The realization, the surgery, the divorce, the friend she had trusted, the future she had thrown away now blooming in someone else's hands. Not stolen, earned. She stood so abruptly that the chair scraped across the floor. For a second, I thought she might scream. Instead, she just stared at me. Broken, I held her gaze. No anger, no triumph, just calm. Because revenge isn't the moment they fall. It's the moment you realize you no longer need them to. As I watched Sophia laugh with my mother, one hand resting over the life we had created together, I felt something rare. Not victory. Relief. Amelia had mistaken my silence for weakness. But silence is where I rebuilt myself, where I turned pain into precision, where betrayal became freedom. She wanted a life without children. She got it. I wanted a life built on truth. Now I have it.